Hi there, Kate Grace, physical therapist, orthopedic PA, and host of Move Without Limits podcast. And I am very excited today to be reunited with my friend. Today's guest is one of those rare people who can help you be healthier, happier, probably have you dancing in the process. He is the mastermind behind Jay Robb protein powder. He's the author of the Fat Burning Diet book. He's the creator of Guru Rum, and he's a musician who cut an album, Hang Loose. So, Jay Robb is living proof that fitness and fun belong together. He built a career out of helping people fuel their bodies, free their minds, and really enjoy the ride in the process. So get ready for a conversation packed with wisdom, laughter, and some serious good vibes. Because when Jay talks health, it's never boring. So please help me bring Jay into our studio. Hello.
Hey, Kate, good to see you. Well, let me hang on. Let me see if I can get my head back down. It's like I expand a little bit after that
Oh,
intro.
hi. You are that and more. I just want people to meet you. I want people to know who you are. You are such a rare individual, and your commitment to helping others enhance the quality of their lives. And I know you're all about peace and love and having fun right now, but I'm going to go backwards a little bit on how and when we met. I don't really remember the year, but you probably will. But I want you to tell everybody how you got involved in the protein powder business, but more importantly, how you got people to taste your protein powder. How'd you do that?
Oh boy, well, that's a loaded question. That's could take me a little while to answer that. So let's see, what got me into the protein powder business? Probably bodybuilding. Back as a kid, I used to read the muscle magazines. I'd walk down to the drugstore and pull them off the stand, and we'd sit there and read them all afternoon and go, wow, these guys are huge. I'm like 11 or something with like little skinny arms. So I, I saw these guys and I thought, this is really cool. But I waited till, gosh, I was probably I was 13 and I asked for a weight set for Christmas. I told my parents, I said, hey, give me a weight set. They go, what's that? And I go, it's weights. Nobody knew anything about that. This is back in the 60s. Now I just dated myself. So anyway, I got a weight set at 13 and I just fell in love with lifting weights and bodybuilding. And I got into it kind of casually all through high school because I basically worked through high school. I worked at a pizza place. And I pretty much worked a full-time job, not just a part-time gig. So I was going to school full-time and making pizza full-time. So it was a fun job, but I didn't train, didn't do anything. So I turned into a total party animal because we could eat and drink all we wanted on the job. That may sound crazy, back in the 60s, a little different than it is now. So here I am, a 15-year-old kid and partying life with the adults. So I didn't get into bodybuilding, and I told you I'm going to take the long way around to this. I'm going to tie this all in together. So I got away from that, went off to college, partied more and better and crazier. And then by the time I was 22, I was pretty much burnt out, done with partying. And I said, I can't do this. I wanted to change. So I got into bodybuilding again. I got my weight set out, pulled it out, had it in my apartment, made a little home gym type thing in the garage there, and just started going at it. And I mean, I went crazy. So got heavily into bodybuilding. I realized protein was important for me to recover. And I was a skinny little twit, one of those. A 98-pound weakling didn't describe me because I was only like 95 pounds. So I mean, they call me Dr. Hook because of my sunken chest. It was embarrassing for me back in those days. But I wanted to get big. I wanted to train. I wanted to get in shape. And I didn't want to be that little guy anymore. And I got tired of sand kicked in my face. So I hit it and hit it hard. And protein powders were not big back then. This is in the early 70s. So nobody was really doing protein powders. They had these real primitive ones, but I still made my homemade protein drinks with the ingredients I could get. But I just knew I loved those protein drinks. I'd utilize them every single day, and it helped me pack on some muscle. So when I got into bodybuilding and got into getting the protein drinks into me and eating more and eating better and not drinking every day, uh, things started to change. So the first year I put on about 35 pounds, and it was not to my waist. My waist went down and my guns went up. And I said, this is it. I was in love with it. I'm going full tilt into bodybuilding. So that was how I was introduced into a casual relationship with protein powders and what they could do if you make them. So fast forward through that. I mean, I could cover all kinds of stuff because there's so many stories to tell. But fast forward to that into the 80s. And I was in the health food world, working at the time, I was working at Jimbo's in North Park in San Diego. And I started learning the health food industry. I had a fitness club for 4 years. I sold it. I had a protein powder there, but it was pretty primitive. And so I sold it, and I went into the health food world and checked it out. I said, I want to know everything about this. And that's what I did. And that's when I learned there were no protein powders available. They're any good. They're all gritty. They all tasted nasty. They were all awful. So I wrote my book, The Fat Burning Diet, teaching people how to burn fat like a bodybuilder, because you have to cut carbs and do certain things to get in contest shape. And so the fat burning diet was what I wrote, and it kind of told the average person how to eat in a way that would literally just grab your own body fat and burn it down, and then you cycled in carbs and brought your glycogen up, and everybody was happy. So to teach this to people, I would recommend a protein powder, and I realized there weren't any good protein powders out there, nowhere, even at the health food store. You might be able to go to a gym and get one, but not usually. So guess what? I just created my own, and I said, I don't want any sugar, I don't want any crap, I don't want any junk, I don't want any this. And so we made it clean and pure, and that's how we kicked it off. So
Let me just interject because
you
I
got to, because I'll talk for 2 hours.
love. Well, I'm going to make you talk about how you got people to taste it, but I love yours. The only protein powder I recommend, and I'm like you. I tell
Thank you.
people how many grams to eat of protein, before their workout, after their workout, and so forth, because yours is clean. There's no crap in it. It tastes good, and all the other ones taste like chalk or worse. So I cannot recommend it enough. You've got many types. We'll talk about those, but it is the one that I have my clients, patients take. But you had a unique way of getting people to taste it, because that's where I met you, at that little gym in Encinitas.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you do? How'd you do that?
That's a great story, and I'll try to compress it the best I can. So, because I could go long-winded, but I'm going to go precise and not bullet point, but I'll get you there. So, yes, I have to fast forward. I introduced my protein powder when I created it in '88, and so I put it into Jimbo's, and I started putting it in health food stores all across San Diego, and then eventually all Orange County, then LA and San Francisco, and then we marched the country over time. So, but I launched back then, there was no whey protein, as you see on the screen. There was no whey protein back in those days. The technology had not been perfected, and an easy way to separate out the whey protein fractions from a liquid whey. Liquid whey is just what rises to the top when they make cheese or cottage cheese. But they figured out how to filter it out and just capture the whey protein. And it's an awesome protein. But anyway, that didn't exist. So I launched an egg white protein, which I still have. So I launched that. We got it in all the stores in San Diego. So then the stores were all happy with that for quite a few years. I launched I launched my fat burning diet, and people needed, they wanted more protein, wanted all this, wanted all that. And anyway, so then the technology was developed for whey protein. So I was the first one to jump on the whey protein bandwagon, got one produced, clean. It was clean as can be. And most people want to put sucrose, sugar, artificial sweeteners, aspartame, all that in there. Not me. So I got that out, and I started, I had my staff call around to the store and said, no way. They said, we've already got your egg white is selling good. We got a couple of other ways, and we're going to stick with that. I said, you're kidding. I said, and they said, no, that's what we're going to do. None of them would take it. And it was the best tasting whey out there. That's my claim to fame. And I'm not trying to brag, but it's the best tasting protein on the planet.
Concur.
That was what I platformed out, because most protein powders taste like, "Eesh, can I get this down? What can I mix it with to mask it?" So they wouldn't do it. So what I did was I went into Encinitas, the strip mall, and had Encinitas, California, for those listening all over. And I went there and opened up a shop. It was a nutrition center for, Jay Robb. So I opened that up. And in the store, I said, sold I had other supplements too, sold those, but I had an ongoing tasting of the protein. I always had it mixed up, always had a refrigerator, always ready, little cups, everything. Every customer that came in, you got to taste this protein. They tasted it. It took about a year of me opening that store. It was a small store, but getting people to taste it until they finally started calling the stores. Back then it was Henry's, which was Boney's and, Jimbo's, and Whole Foods hadn't really hit big yet, but they were coming around, and Wild Oats and Sprouts and so on. So they started calling the store and says, hey, we want Jay Robb Way protein. It is the best I've ever had. And they called so many stores so many times that the stores finally caved, and they called me up directly and says, hey, we want to carry your protein. We're getting so many customers demanding it. They're wanting it. I said, okay. So fine. So I go in, and the first deal, we'll take 25 cases. They want it right. So we stocked it up front, big displays and so on. And that went across 13 stores there. And then just long story short, one by one, we marched all over Southern California. Every store folded to take it because the word was spreading. I think word of mouth is the best advertising anyway. So all across, Southern California and up, and then eventually we went all the way across the country with it. But that was how I got that to happen. Eventually, I turned that nutrition store, once that task was done, into my second Jay's Gym. So that's a little tidbit you might not know.
I think you just gave people who are creating a product a great idea on how to get it into stores, a great strategy. And you have many types right now. You can see behind me. And I'm sure you can find them anywhere you want. But it is really, I'm so grateful to have it, because I can't eat eggs. They don't agree with me. So for me, it's a protein even in my coffee, and then it's a protein smoothie after my workout, maybe another one later, so I can reach my gram goals of protein in a day. So speaking of that, Jay, since you're a nutrition expert, do you have a recommendation for active people and even non-active people on how many grams of protein they should eat a day?
Boy, that's a tough one, because there's just really no standard for protein. But in my 4+ decades of experience, personally and professionally, it seems that the lowest point that a person can probably get by and be healthy is somewhere around 50 grams. I mean, you might squeak by 45 or something like that. I've personally, and this may sound crazy, but I've personally tested that out myself, and see where I stop being able to recover from workouts. How low can I go? And I did that by eating basically an all fruit diet, and added some vegetables and different things like that, and really ate no solid forms of protein until I felt like I couldn't recover in the gym and so on. And that was around about 40 grams for me, but about 45 or 50 is probably the lowest point you'd want to go. If a person's fit, active, and a bodybuilder, then they could be eating 200 grams or more, 240 grams or more. If they're big, if they're just a regular person, around 100 grams is generally a good place to start. You can go up and down and see if your strength or health or well-being, or you're feeling better. Because I like to teach people to go by feel on most everything you do, everything you eat, everything you drink, everything you have. How does it feel? How did you feel before? How do you feel after? Does it make you feel full? Did it overdo for you? And then see, as your strength going up, things going down. It's awareness. It's a meditation helps you be aware. And once you're aware, you can pretty much detect what you need instantly almost from what you eat, what you drink, what you say, what you do, where you go, who you talk with, and you're hanging out. And right now I feel fantastic because I'm here with Kate Grace.
You're a character.
Kate Grace, I have to tell you, I love you. You're one of the sweetest people I think I've ever met. And
Doesn't
we
know
go
me
way
very well,
back.
does
I
he?
mean, we were before electricity, if I recall. I don't want to date us, but hey, we go way. We went to different high schools together. We're so close.
I think we met when we were 12. I'm quite sure.
That's right.
But you and I have been doing our contribution to the world for 40 plus years, and so I'm glad I'm on that train with you.
Well, you're an
Thanks for
inspiration to
that.
me.
Thanks for that great advice, because I tell people, at least that work out in my class, 100 grams a day, and I really like them to get 20 or 30 grams in the morning, maybe another 20, 30 midday, that kind of thing. Because, and especially, I've done a lot of research about this, but women in particular need a little more protein. And I think you guys have the ability to manufacture that a little bit better, but in particular women first thing in the morning, because their stress hormone levels are up and they need some protein to calm down that cortisol. And so it allows them to work out more effectively and mentally be a little bit more aware and sharper and react to things that happen in their lives with their family or their kids or whatever a little bit better. So even what you put in your body can help you deal with what's happening in everyday life, right? I think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, protein is like the stress reducer. I can't
Yeah.
think of anything that works better. And I may be crazy, but I admit it. I've done every imaginable test on myself. You know, I do a lot of research for, like I said, for over 40 years. All the time I'm doing whatever, but I like to test on myself what works and what doesn't. And there's no doubt about it. Whoa, who's that guy? There's no doubt
He's a
about
good
it.
looking dude.
There's no doubt about it. When you do protein, you don't have to overdo it either. That's the key the important thing here is keep adding more protein isn't going to make it any better. You got to cover the bases. You got to get your calories. Calories are the most important. So calories and protein, you put those together, you've got a winner. If you just do protein, it actually makes you sick if you don't get any fat with it. So,
Yeah, for sure.
or if you don't get enough fat with it or enough calories with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Great. That's awesome. Well, before we leave this nutrition topic and get on to your other wild ventures. So you wrote, I remember when the fat burning diet book came out, and I thought, I want this. I want my fat to burn and my muscle to increase. So tell me what kind of pushed you into creating that, because it's a really, really good book. It makes total sense and it gives people really great advice. What pushed you to do that?
That's the 30th anniversary edition. That's actually 35 years ago, whenever it first came out. But the driver behind that was I'll try to keep this tight now. From 1978 till about 1990, or in the later 80s, like 88 or so. I did a lot of raw food. I had taken bodybuilding, and I was, wanting, to get into competitive bodybuilding. I did. I got, I sponsored some of the country's first drug tested bodybuilding shows. Just steroids were horrible back. They were just rampant everywhere. So I put together. Let's see. So I was putting together a diet that I thought was raw food, and it was going to be the ultimate. So about in the mid 80s, I started realizing this might not be ideal, because it's tough to get the calories from just fruit and vegetables and so on, and nuts and seeds. And obviously that put me into a very low protein range, but I was willing to do it. So I did that for about a decade. And I said, I was lean, but my muscle was down a little bit and so on. So that's when I said, well, I want to teach people how to access their own fat, because I got the feeling that people were over carbing at the time. And fruits and vegetables, it's hard to over carb on. So I never really pudged out from doing fruits and vegetables. But you add the starches in, and the starches with the fat, and even starch with avocado and stuff like that. You overdo that, and eventually you look like you carry it, especially around your waist or hips if you're a woman. So I said, I'm going to do something. I got to go back to bodybuilding. I don't want to teach people how to eat. So we always just dropped the starches out. Really didn't eat a lot of fruit, kept the vegetables really low, and just ate fat and protein. And that worked very well. So I did that, and we would cycle it in bodybuilding. This was a carb cycling program. So here's how it works. You actually would eat low carb, like Atkins style, low carb introduction type style, for 2 to 3 days, and then you would have one day of higher carbs, and you could utilize starches at that time. You could have a little more desserts and so on. And what that does is your glycogen, which is stored muscle starch, and liver stored starch, that your body keeps handy when you need it to break down into glucose or sugar to run your brain and for instant energy. So glycogen levels go down on a low carb diet. But if you bring carbs in, it brings the glycogen back up and fills the muscles up, and you feel a little bit more zippy and fun. And in bodybuilding, on stage, you look better because your muscles go a little flat on all protein and fat. So I knew that was a winner, and it got us in top shape all the time. So that's what I taught. So I put it together in a fairly easy to read or formula or format, excuse me, that allowed the person to realize, okay, I can eat these. And fat, unlike Atkins, fat gets out of control sometimes if you're not careful. It's all calories, because weight loss is all calories. People can say, oh, this works better, zone works better, low carb works better, high carb works better, low fat works better. Not true. Low calories work the best, but for health and fitness and all, you need a balanced diet of especially protein and fat, and then you mix in the carbs around it that you feel comfortable with. That's the ideal. And so that controls calories. So calories are controlled. So by doing this, by controlling carbs, by cycling them in, you kind of got your cake and got to eat it too. And it got people, low carb eating at that time wasn't, popular. Atkins had already kind of like fizzled out after he wrote his first book in 72, and that kind of had died out. So kind of brought that back in with a bodybuilding twist to it and taught people that, and it worked very well, and people were excited. So I did 500, let me repeat that, 500 weight loss seminars across the country over the next few decades. And so those principles worked well.
That's great. Now you said this was an early edition. Is your book available? Are you doing another edition?
The new 30th anniversary edition that I just put together will be out within 30 days. And it's available at jayrobb.com, JAYROBB.com first as an ebook. And please check it out when you go to
jayrobb.com. You guys can check it out. I followed it many moons ago, and I really thought it was great. And the way you did it, it was easy. There was no question about, you can eat this, don't eat this today, eat this tomorrow. It's really easy. So thank you for that, and the protein powder that goes along with it.
And I put whole eggs back into the diet plan and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with egg whites. They're great. That's my powder set. That's lower calorie. But I allowed people a little bit more flexibility on the program.
Very nice of you.
You can have more fun.
I'm a nice guy. Okay, let's talk about Guru Rum.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck? What got you to? I know you're all about fun.
That's what's in here, right here.
There you go. Yeah, I said, I hope Jay hasn't had too much rum before this podcast, but.
I don't drink too much before the podcast. You said, let's have it early in the morning. But that was no safeguard.
It's juice. So tell me about the creation of the Guru Rum.
Well, Guru Rum, let's see. That came about probably due to the pandemic. So you think not too many great things came out of the pandemic, but Guru Rum did. I've learned, let me backtrack before the pandemic. I learned over the years how serious people get about fitness and health in their life and all the things they do. And I think you have to be serious, and you have to be focused to become aware, to become centered, and to become disciplined. Through meditation, all these things to make changes in your life. to do the things that are right for your body, eat right without, going off crazy every time you look at a cheeseburger or French fries. You've got to be grounded. You got to be centered. But people take this very seriously. I've seen over the years in in the fitness world and other areas too, but especially in the fitness world, people just get and let me before I go further and talk about other people, I will admit I was a bit of a zealot. I think that's the proper word for me, a zealot in this particular situation. I was just strict and boom, 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 boom. Well, pretty soon, Jay Robb, the guru, is not having any fun. And if it's not fun, what's the point? So I tell people that all the time. If you're not having fun in life, what's the point? And I don't mean to sound cavalier. If somebody's ill or somebody passed away, that like, there's no, you don't make jokes about that. But the rest of the time, you're here to have some fun. So I saw people weren't having fun. So when we got to the pandemic, as we were drawing into that, and as I got further along in my life, I realized, well, I'll get some. It's time to do a little partying and so on. Because I was a party animal back in high school. Like I said, I drank through high school like I was a fish, and college and so on. And so I kind of got away from it. But then I thought, well, let's just get back into partying. And when I reconnected with my now third wife, Beth, love of my life, woman of my dreams, when we connected in 2009, I hadn't seen her for 35 years or something. I knew her when I was young, and she was very young. She was 7. And so that's the last time I saw her. And they moved away. That sounds crazy, but her parents and my parents were best friends. And we were crazy. They partied all the time. And that probably doesn't sound good for me. But anyway, that's a true story. She was 7. And she was best friends with my little sister and so on. So her parents and my parents are best friends. Her parents lived above the apartment I grew up in, excuse me. They lived above, kind of like Fred and Ethel Mertz to the Ricky Ricardos and so on. And we were crazy. We did all these crazy things and so on. I'm getting out there. I'm getting wild. But anyway, they had fun. I learned how to laugh, learned how to get crazy, every day was a joke to them. Everything, a practical joke. We'll do this, we'll do that. They're always doing something. We'll put salt in the sugar bowl. We'll like grease the doorknobs to get in their house. Whatever it was just fun. So I knew what fun was like. When I reconnected with Beth, and that was 2009, I wanted to drink some wine because I'm a very romantic man. I love to sip wine, candlelight. There's nothing like it. Get the room, the mood, get the music going. So I would sip wine and I realized this is fun. I was relaxed, I just chill. And, I'd met the love of my life, but I already knew her. So it was reuniting with the love of my life. And I realized, hey, with her, we got silly a lot. We would, weekend would come, let's go get silly. So we would have mixed drinks. We drank a lot of wine back then, but it was just fun. So fast forward to the pandemic. By the way, we got married and then we're still living happily ever after. So we left San Diego in 2018 and moved the corporation, everything there to save money because taxes, the tax there, or tax in Florida is 0. California is now 14% state income tax. So that's where we moved. So we bought a fixer upper on the water that had tiki huts. We built tiki huts in it. We redid everything to look like a Bali resort. I mean, it's when you'll go to gururum.com at some point. We'll talk about that. But when you go there, watch the music video on the nav bar, and you'll see our backyard. Anyway,
I have.
we built all these things. Built a tiki bar, and we just had people over, and we would party, and we just had fun doing that. And I realized this is kind of what's missing. I'm not here to tell people, drink in excess or, if you've got drinking problem. I'm not here to get anybody I don't want to get anybody moving in the wrong direction that way. Drink responsibly, and I mean that. So drink because you want to, drink to have fun, but don't drink because you're running from something. So we had fun and we had a blast. We built a tiki bar, tiki huts all over, boat dock, pool. Everything was a resort style vacation every single day. So come the pandemic, people were getting nervous and really upset. So we'd have them over to the house. Our neighbor, they were big partiers, way more than us. They would come over, we'd go over there. And so we got in the habit of having drinks and we were just getting silly. We weren't like out of control very often, but But I'm not gonna lie, we got crazy. So anyway, we started liking rum drinks, pina coladas. We'd sit and wave at boats and stuff. We'd be in the yard. I would love to do that. Anyway, so we got drinking pina coladas. My wife Beth, she loves. She calls them poquito mojitos. They're like little mojitos about this big. They're giant. Anyway, we call them little. So they're. She makes those, and we made them with rum. And so we were sitting there one day at the tiki bar. We looked at each other and says, "You know what we need to do?" And I go, "What, man? We need to make our own rum. You know why? Because we could do it right. I mean, we wanted to put the best rum, like my protein powder. I wanted to create the best rum possible. I wanted to create the one that you could mix in a drink, one that you could sip like tequila. So that's what we did, and it's odd. People thought at first, well, that's odd because you're the fitness guru and the health guru, and you've been doing this a long time, and you're teaching people how to be healthy. And I said, look, you know, you got to look at it this way. You have to take care of yourself to be healthy, but are you happy? Are you really happy? Are you uptight? Are you really strict and you don't want to let go? Partying people can let go partying. I'm not saying go crazy, but you can let go and you can be yourself and you can relax. It's almost good therapy sometimes if you just make it a part of a healthy, responsible life by eating good, taking care of yourself, getting in great shape. If you're in great shape, then you earn that drink at night. You earn that, you know, that pina colada with Guru Rum. That's what's important. So I realized that people were uptight, especially during the pandemic, and you had a couple of drinks with them, and they were relaxed, they were themselves again, and it was almost like therapy. And so it impressed us so much. We put together a sticker. The sticker looks like, here, I'll pull up the sticker. I created a sticker for it. So this, and I put it on my protein powder too, but this is actually the Guru Rum guy. So that's him there. 70,000 stickers we put out there. You'll see it on the back of my powders. You'll see it on the front of my powders, and you'll see it on my little Yeti that I'm drinking here. And rum. So we have this, and I I said, God, are you sure? I was serious. I said, God, are you sure you want me to do a rum? I've been doing this other thing for so long, and all I got was green lights. So we wrapped our boat with Guru Rum. I got a 72 VW bus, and it's gonna be wrapped with Guru Rum, and it's on the back of our windows on our Range Rovers and stuff. You know, Guru Rum, and the motto is now let's party, because I want people to realize let's have some fun in life. Don't be, irresponsible. Again, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you take care of yourself. You follow my principles. You follow my fat burning diet. You follow, sometimes follow my fruit flush 3-day detox. You follow these things. Take my protein powder. Eat right. Get fit. Walk. Run. Whatever you need to do. You get in great shape. And part of getting in shape is at the night, let go. Maybe on the weekend, let go every now and then. Just let go, and have a drink and just get silly. It's fun, and life is fun. And we just have such a good time, and I love rum drinks. I have to admit, rum's a different alcohol because you ever notice rum is always in the Caribbean or when you're in a tropical island. So that's why it feels good at my Palm Beach, Florida home. Hey, let's have some rum.
Forget the fat burning book. How do we get the rum? How do we get the
Well, it's
rum?
interesting that
Is it available yet?
Yeah, these drinks though, they're not that debilitating. I mean, they're pretty alkaline, and if you mix them, you can mix them with carbs or without carbs, and you sip them, and everybody is so happy. And you can make them really low carb, like a mojito. That's really low carb.
Yeah.
You don't even have to put any agave or anything in it if you don't want, or you can put it in there if you want a few carbs.
Like a mojito. So is it on the market yet, or is it to come?
No, we've been working on this project for 4 years. It's been a long time. 70,000 stickers out there, boat wrapped the whole bit, and that's fine. A lot of preliminary marketing. We've got my wife does Open Bar podcast. You'll see that at gururum.com. But it is set to launch in January.
Great.
And you can buy direct online at gururum.com, which we're going to really go after the direct to consumer market. That's what we want to sew up. We're going to get in all the stores too. over time. But I want to be able to get the product directly to the customer immediately when they go to gururum.com or whatever it is. Or, excuse me, when they get there and they're looking around, they see, wow, this is fun, and look at this music and music videos. They got all these things. They got the podcast with open bar, all the fun stuff. It's a fun site. And
It's really fun.
once you get into that, know that we'll take care of you directly, and we have a third-party shipper that will send it right to your doorstep.
We might be on your site January 1.
It might be.
We might be.
Oh, you might be. January 1st. Oh, and when you're there, if you're a visitor there, please sign up for my newsletter and get on the mailing list, and I'll let you know exactly when it's available and
Okay.
so on. I'll give you updates.
We will.
We're getting ready to kick off a bunch of new videos for not just Jay Robb and how to, I'm going to remind people how to burn fat and get healthy and so on. But at Guru Rum, I'm also going to stick a lot of new videos up there on how to make drinks, how to throw parties, how to do it right without getting stupid like I do.
Well, clearly we need a trip to Florida. So visit your tiki huts. So I want to talk about one more thing before we take some audience questions. You're also a musician and cut an album, Jay?
Well, yes, if you haven't figured out that I'll take a new direction at any time. That's actually from the music video that what you're seeing right there. That's towards the end of the music video in our tiki hut, 2-story tiki hut in the back there by the tiki bar. So, how did that come about? Let's see. I was doing a subconscious reprogramming audio recording, and I didn't have the equipment I needed. And this was in Palm Beach. I didn't have the equipment I needed to record it as professionally as I wanted. So a buddy of mine introduced me another buddy who was a songwriter, and that was his business, and he also would produce. And I said, okay, so I had him. It was just a simple VO or voiceover, nothing. It was just a voice, and then you put stuff behind it for the subconscious reprogramming audio recording. So we got in the studio and we recorded that, in like 2 hours. And it was his recording studio. And I said, I've got this. I love to write. I'm a writer, and I love to write poems. And so I just said, hey, I got this song I wrote, because I turned my poem into a song. And the song was called Hang Loose. And that's the album that you see right there. Made a whole album out of it. Anyway, so it was Hang Loose. And that I wanted to record. So I shared the lyrics with him. And, he's a professional. He's, Gwen Stefani. He's written a lot of good stuff for a lot of good people. And so I call him the Magic Man. We'll keep him, incognito that way. But he's the Magic Man. So he's a good guy. So I put the lyrics out, and I said, he helped me with the arrangement. I do the vocals, and I do the writing, and the arrangement and all the instruments and so on. We're done outside of that. So I put that together. We laid down the first track, which is opening riff for it. I said, that's it. I like it. Let's do this. And then I just orchestrated the whole thing, put it together. And then I hired him and brought him to my Hippie Hut record. I built a recording studio, hired him and put it there in Palm Beach. And at Hippie Hut Studios is what we call it. We do, we record music. And so I put together that whole album, and I've already got a second album ready to go that will be out in, oh gosh, probably right after the rum comes out, because I have a song on there called Let's Party, and nobody's heard that. But when you get to gururum.com, you'll hear the background music is Let's Party. That was the newest song I wrote. So we got all that put together. That was it. It was called Hang Loose, but it was rock, old school rock, just boom, boom, like Deep Purple or The Who or anybody like that. But it was all about peace and love, which is what I wanted to spread. I love let's have fun. So it's like, I'm here to teach you how to have peace, put the peace, love, and fun back in your life. And the album does it, the music video does it, the rum does it, the protein does it, the fat burning diet book will do it, or whatever else it is.
I agree. I got on your website, and the first thing it says is, are you of the legal drinking age? I'm just barely, but I put yes. And then the video comes up, and like it puts you in a good mood immediately. It's like really fun. The videos you have, the music, everything. It's very cool. So if anybody hasn't, please go on. Is it the gururum.com.
GuruRum.com. And when you get there,
Yeah.
no, the opening video is just a montage, a collection of just short little snippets with Let's Party, my song, in the background. That's not the music video. It's on the nav bar or the drop down menu box from the 3 bars. That's on it, and just click on
Yeah.
Guru's
I,
music.
I've seen that too, but I just will tell you that intro music and video grabs you right from the beginning. So
Party
so
to the left, party to the right, party all day, party all night.
you're like Tim McGraw. Wasn't it Tim McGraw that sang that song out of a poem or a prayer? Right? Didn't he? Wasn't it Tim McGraw? Yeah, it was a poem or a prayer, and someone gave it to him and said, "Here, make this a song." Yeah, I'm sure.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're just
I've heard
you're
of
just
Tim
like
McGraw.
him.
Well, just having fun. I don't know what I'll do next year.
All right, that's my last question. After, let me ask you a few questions that I've been asked by people who I said, I'm so excited. I'm gonna have Jay on the podcast, and we're gonna talk about everything he's doing. So one of the questions, and I'm like this myself. I'm not particularly hungry in the morning, but I have to eat something before I teach my class because otherwise I'd faint. So one of the questions is, give us your favorite fast, fat burning, and delicious breakfast. What would that be?
If I've done different diets over the years, and if I was eating breakfast, it would be one thing. So I'll just give it the first meal. I usually eat brunch because I generally eat 2 meals a day, fat burning diet style, and that's around 10 o'clock or 10:30, sometimes 11 or 11:30. Anyway, let's just call it brunch, maybe lunch, and that can be a protein drink. That's one of my favorites for sure. And if I'm in a hurry, let's just say, and sometimes I am, I keep it simple. I'll just do water, whole, cream, heavy whipping cream, and protein powder. Stir it up and take it with me and drink it on the way if I've got to go somewhere. If I have time to cook something, and I'll have a protein drink later. My personal favorite breakfast that I have, I make sunny side up eggs, and I put them in a pan and put the lid on it after I put the eggs in there, and it steams the top, so I don't have to turn them or anything else. But they get the yolk or the yellow on top turns white, so it's kind of cooked. I don't like that slimy white with the yellow. So I do that with cheese, and I'll have that with turkey, or ground beef. This may sound crazy, but I like bacon. I know that sounds like it's not on the menu for most people, but it's on the fat burning diet, and it's on my menu. I do very well on bacon. Me personally, I do very well on fat. That not everybody does, but a lot of people do. I'd say it's maybe 50 or 60% of the people do really good on fat, which is the fat burning diet, because it's fat heavy and carb lean. So I'll eat. That's as simple as I go a lot of times
I
for
think it
eating.
sounds delicious.
If it's a carb day and I want carbs, I love pancakes, and I will have pancakes or something like that. But I usually, in general, keep the carbs down most of the time, and then when I carb up, that's what I go for.
Okay, sounds good. I've been asked this question often, is because people ask me, "Oh, should I take this supplement or that supplement or creatine or this or that?" What's the one supplement or ingredient you think everyone should know about, but most don't, or that people should consider taking?
Gee, that's pretty much a no-brainer. The only supplement out there anyone should ever buy or use is Jay Robb protein. Next question.
Now,
No, I'm just kidding.
everybody, I did not know that answer before I asked the question.
That's actually not. It's actually a
But
nutrition product.
I
not a
agree. I
supplement.
agree. Quite frankly.
Anyway, boy, there's actually 2. If there's one, you asked for 1, but I would probably go with 2, and I'll tell you why. I usually go with 2. Because I think Americans don't get enough vitamin C, as silly as that sounds. They just don't. And a lot of people are tested with low-grade scurvy. And people do not realize back in the 1800s, 2 million sailors died on the open seas due to scurvy. What is scurvy? Scurvy is just a vitamin C deficiency. They're on the boat, they're eating fish or whatever rations they had. There were no fresh fruits, there were no fresh vegetables, there were no vitamin C capsules or tablets or anything else. they got scurvy, which they died internally of bleeding. Internal bleeding is not fun. When that kills you, I mean,
Uh,
first you're just sick, and then just eventually you can't do anything. So it was a horrible disease. 2 million people, that's a lot. And they still had sailors that would go out there until James Lind, I think that was his name, or Lindsay, whatever his name was. He realized through a clinical trial on a boat that if they ate limes, the juice of limes or lemons, but especially limes, the British sailors would not get scurvy, not die. And so that's what they realized. They didn't know it was vitamin C or anything like that. They just thought it had to be something in citrus fruit or limes. And that's why the British Navy was called limeys. So they got that nickname, but they didn't have to
hmm.
die after they discovered that and followed it. So they just take a bunch of limes on the boat, and away they went, and everybody was happy. So vitamin C, I think everybody should take. The other thing is, the reason vitamin C is very important, in my personal opinion, is because if you have a vitamin C deficiency, your artery walls can get weak. They require lysine, proline, and vitamin C. So without that vitamin C, an artery wall can get weakened. It can start leaking slightly. And where's it going to leak the most? Around the heart, because your heart's beating all the time. 60, 70, 80 beats a minute. And with your run, it's going 150 beats a minute. Boom, boom. A lot of pressure there. If it's going to leak, then you're going to die. So your body seals it with LDL cholesterol. That's like a tire patch. And that's what starts thickening the interior of an artery. It's an LDL compound or mixture that lines that until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's just a lysine, vitamin C deficiency, in my opinion, because without those, the cell integrity is compromised and leakage happens. Vitamin C is important. And I suggest getting, I don't sell vitamin C, so don't think I'm touting myself on stuff here, but get a vitamin C lozenge that doesn't have junk in it. I think I use what Nature's Made or something like that. And it's a lozenge, and just put it in your mouth and just suck on it. Let the saliva collect under your tongue, and your body will absorb it sublingually that way. Supposedly, in the research I've seen, it absorbs about 66% better than if you take a capsule. So that's what I do, and have my family do it, and have for a long, long time. You don't need a lot, like a 500 milligrams, plenty for one day. And if you missed a few days, it's no big deal. Your body will store it up to a point. Second thing is lysine, and that's just an amino acid, an essential amino acid, part of the keeping you healthy, keeping the cells, the skin, integrity of the skin, and everything else. Those two are my go-to that I think are life and death type of supplements. If anybody out there ever gets cold sores, like even if it's just once or twice a year, that's a lysine deficiency. And to prevent that, include cheese or some type of a dairy, not just a dairy fat, but a dairy yogurt or something like that, if you tolerate yogurt. Or just take a lysine capsule one a day, and your lysine will stay up with vitamin C, and what I've seen, you'll never ever get another cold sore. I don't. I used to get them way back in the day, when I was lysine deficient, doing my low protein type of raw food diets and stuff like that. I've I've suffered a little bit, what works, what doesn't work, why, but I was in the trenches doing it firsthand, and lysine does make a huge difference. So if any of that, and you know, that type of a herpes simplex is really just a chicken pox layover that's still haunting you. So the better you eat, and the better you supplement, the less cold sores you're going to get.
Nice little pop up. Yeah, great advice. Wow, I don't think people think about those two supplements at all. I think
No,
they're thinking about all
never.
kinds of
Too
crazy
simple.
stuff. Jay, this could go on for another hour. You have so much
I'm
to
so
share with
sorry.
people.
This
Um,
happens.
is there something in the health and fitness world that I haven't asked you that you think it's important for people either who want to get healthier, uh, they're just starting out in fitness, maybe they've plateaued and they want to get over that plateau? What else can we learn from you, and what else can you tell our audience that we haven't covered?
I would suggest meditation to everybody for that particular answer. Meditation raises or creates or improves or enhances awareness. I see most people, not most people, but a massive amount of people in this world unaware, walking around almost zombie-like or thinking of something the entire day. They're just not here. You could be at a store and they're thinking of something else while they're talking to you or while they're looking at you or it's like you don't exist. So I say increase your awareness, because without awareness, you can't really figure out what's the best for you. You're not listening carefully to your body, to your stomach, when you're hungry, when you're not hungry, when to eat. Do I eat one meal a day? Do I eat 5 meals a day? Do I eat every 2 hours? Do I eat every 3 hours? Do I eat 5 hours? Whatever it is, you have to be aware. If you're not aware, then you're pretty much living life from memory or looking in the rearview mirror. That's really what has happened. And people are on their phones now. They're taken completely away from the present moment. That's old school stuff that probably never got enough traction in America. And you talk about meditation and so on. You don't have to think of meditation as you're going to become a monk and shave your head and all that unless you want to. But meditation, I took it very seriously back in the day. I wanted to find, I was seeking enlightenment. I was looking for the ultimate, flash to go off. I was looking for the deep knowing, the deep understanding. I was looking for God. I was looking for the whole 9 yards. So I took it seriously, but in that process of just sitting there doing nothing once a day, 20 minutes once a day, that changed my life probably more than anything I could ever say in my entire life. That one practice, that one realization back in 1981, boom, I just woke up and I said, wow, I'm not the center of the universe. What a until then I was. And until then, I was pretty much lost in lust. I guess I don't know how else I'd describe myself. It was crazy. So you wake up and you go realize, hey, it's not about me. The game is like what Baba Ram Dass said. The game's not about what I don't even remember what his thing was. Do you remember what Ram Dass said? The game is not about becoming someone. That's it. The game is not about becoming someone. It's about becoming no one, or becoming somebody, but becoming nobody.
I love that.
That's pretty profound, because all your problems go away when you stop focusing on you. They just go. So when you're aware in your body and outside of your body, then what you do, you can detect what works for you. That's going to take you more places in nutrition and diet and even partying. Pay attention. And
God, that's
awareness
so
is more
good.
than paying attention.
I think too, I think Deepak Chopra said, when by doing nothing, you accomplish everything. And his theory is when you are the most creative or know who you are is in the space between thoughts. But like you just said, people ramble from one thought to the next. They're not even thinking about what you're saying. They're thinking about what they want to say. And so they're never present, and they don't ever get in that space to create all the things like you have. So you clearly have gotten in that space to be so creative.
Well, we live in a society that encourages never, ever. Have I, way back, I think I discovered this when I was 21 or something. Never once did anybody ever encourage me to do nothing. Never sit down and just do nothing. Not sit down and be quiet because you need to shut up. No, but just go off somewhere and sit by a stream, or sit by the ocean. Or something. They didn't say just sit there and let your mind relax and stop thinking all the time. Nobody ever even mentioned that. And I was through school. It was everything. They never once told me sugar was bad. Nobody ever told me anything that I learned after I was 21 that was pertinent to life. It was all about becoming something, an engineer, a doctor, or impress people, or make money. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just don't get lost in the world. Don't get lost out there thinking you're somebody and trying to be somebody you're not. If you want to be somebody, make up somebody and then be it. Become the guru. Become the
And
guru.
you are.
I became the guru of peace.
I know you are the guru of peace and love.
Yeah, it's
It,
important to, to just expand and relax and have fun. Hang loose, see that? Hang loose.
I see it. I want everybody, adult watching this or considering themselves an adult, to share this with children, because if they could learn this, what Jay just said, at a young age, they will be a whole lot happier in life.
Yeah,
I
and experience as a teacher, though, that's important. So yes, I agree with you. Start experimenting, have some fun.
have some fun, experiment, but not too wildly. Jay,
Responsibly.
I can't thank you enough for spending all this time with us. I think we're going to probably have to do this again, maybe when your rum is ready in
Oh
January, and we
man, when
can
that's
have
out.
a few mojitos and
Yeah.
talk some more about ways that people can enhance the quality of their lives.
Oh yeah.
I,
Well,
I
yeah.
just can't thank you enough for everything you've shared and all the wisdom, and the people are going to really, I hope, take a look at how they spend each day. We'll make sure that people know how to find you at jrob.com, at gururum.com, and they get an opportunity to listen to your music and see your crazy videos and read your book, and definitely take the protein.
The
Clean,
protein. You
clean,
must
take
drink
the
the
protein.
protein.
Clean, it's clean, it tastes good. It tastes good in anything, whether it's coffee or food or smoothies, whatever it is.
Best
Uh,
tasting protein on the planet.
yeah, it really is. It really is, because I've tasted chalky ones a lot before. I know people's attention span is very short. I hope you've stayed with us the whole time. Thank you again, Jay. We're going to do this again, because there's a
Oh,
whole lot more
let,
for
let me just
people to
interject
learn from
something real
you.
quick here. Kate Grace, it
Please.
was my honor. Hang on. It was my honor to be on your show. You're a very, very special person, a very, very special friend, and I've known you for a long time. You've done nothing but good for people, and you're an inspiration. And so it's an honor to be on your show. Anybody listening, I love this woman. She's incredible. So anyway, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for listening out there and watching.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with anybody else you think would benefit from hearing Jay's wonderful words. We'll be back next week with a whole new podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Before you head out, I'd love your help. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, it's not just a click, it's a gift. Every tap helps this message reach someone who may be sitting in pain, wondering if they'll ever move without limits again. So go ahead, hit that button now, and let's keep moving together.